Hi, welcome to Dr. Pat TV. We're doing a continuation of our annuities or sinking funds section, and we're looking particular at our loans and mortgages. Just remember that in this section, we're looking at recurring payments. So that's the key idea is the compounding situation with recurring payments. We had two formulas that we've been playing with. One is for saving up for the future. That's that bottom left right here. The key point for this formula, some aspects of this, is that if you look at the power there, that power has a positive end, and that's usually an increasing situation. And so we're saving up for the future. So that's why also in this formula you have FV for the future value. And so that's what's happening there. Then on the other formula right here, what we have here is a negative power, and that's usually a decreasing situation. And the other thing we have here is PV, the present value. We know the present value because that's our loan amount, and our future value is going to be zero because in the end, that's what we want to do for our loan. We want to pay it off. Okay, so let's take a look at some examples. I've got a car loan here, negotiating with a dealer, and our first kind of roundabout this was a 5-year deal with $400 monthly payments. Kind of looking at my cash flow and stuff like that, and realizing $400 monthly payments was just a little bit too much for me, and so I want to renegotiate this. I want to kind of give a counter offer or something like that, or I'm just asking them, hey, can you reduce the payment? And so what comes back to me then is option B is $375 their monthly payment, but then they say for 6 years. The reason they're doing that is because they're thinking that I have a low credit rating. They kind of got me over a barrel in a way. I didn't go to a bank or another lending institution to get a loan before I came to them. I really like this car. So they've got a lot of psychological things going for them. And so this is what they've offered. Now, one thing that people may do is they look at the 375 and they just kind of maybe automatically think, all right, man, wait a minute, I've got them over the barrel, or I'm winning here because I've reduced my monthly payment from 400 to 375. And so some people may feel that way. But in the end, let's kind of look at, let's compare these two deals and see which of these two is the better way of going. And so for the first example, for the 5-year deal, we've got 60 for the formula or the calculator. You can go either way. We've got 60 monthly payments, so 5 times 12 there. We've got a PV of 17,000. That's our loan amount. We've got payments. If you're using the calculator, you put in as a negative. If you're using the formula, just use 400. So we've got monthly payments of 400. Our future value is going to be 0. We know that because that's what the loan payment is. It's not in the formula. And then we're looking at compoundings of 12 and stuff like that. So if I were to look for the interest rate, that's what I want to calculate here to see the comparison in one way. Then what I would do then is plug that into the calculator, move my cursor to the rate, and then hit alpha solve. And what I get is a 14.5. So that 5-year deal, basically, if this was my loan amount and no hidden fees and things like this, this would give me a percentage rate of 14.5. Now let's compare that to the 6-year deal. Basically, most of the information is going to be the same. Our payment's different, of course, 375, and our number of payments is going to change because it's now 72, because 12 times 6. When we do that and we find the rate, we actually find a rate of 16.7. So even though we have a smaller monthly payment of 375, by stretching it out for 6 years, what we kind of ended up doing is actually taking a loan that has a higher interest rate. And hopefully you all realize that the higher the rate for a loan, the worse off the consumer. So we're always looking for low rates as a consumer. Another way that you can compare these two loans is just to look at the interest rates. I mean, not the rate, excuse me, we just calculated that. To look at the dollar amount of the interest. And so by calculating the interest, remember that's the total payments minus the loan amount. For the 5-year deal, for the $400 payments, we ended up with interest of $7,000. So on that $17,000 loan, we're going to pay $7,000 in interest. So you're basically ending up paying $2,400 or $24,000. Now, on the 6-year deal for the payments, monthly payments at 375, we're making 72 of those, and then basically what we're looking at is we're looking at an interest payment of $10,000. That's an extra $3,000 of interest payments that you would have for that extra year. So even though they were able to stretch it out so that I would have a lower monthly payment, it may seem like they're doing me a favor in order to get me the car. What it ends up is a higher interest rate and a larger amount of interest. So when you're out there, just kind of be careful about when you're adjusting these loans. If you adjust the time frame, you're adjusting the interest rate and the amount of interest. Thanks and have a good day.